Hi there, Elevated Planet community. This is John Drew here from Elevated Planet, and today I'm with Aiobhinn Murray. And I've been really looking forward to our conversation here because to fully divulge to the community, I've had a healing session with Aiobhinn a few weeks ago, and I've got to say it was amazing. So I was interested to explore this further because I know the story behind this is not exactly mainstream conventional.
Absolutely, yeah. It's anything but. Even in the spiritual world, it's not normal, you know. So it's pretty out there. So you need to put your woo woo hat on.
Yes, yes. But you see, this is the thing. The more I get into this, the more I realize that the abnormal is actually really that is part of reality. It's just that we hadn't appreciated it till now. Now is the time when all these new versions and expanded versions of reality are coming on stream. So here's an opportunity for us to kind of grasp it and to try and get our heads around it and see where it takes us. So
What I was going to say to you is when the light pod forms, it comes out through the person's crown chakra and it forms an egg-shaped kind of structure around the person with lots and lots of different kind of grid lines, and that's one of the things that I said to the team. I said, do I need to deconstruct this mechanism after a session? And they said, no, you don't have to. It's going to fall away and dissolve organically because it comes from each individual organically. I think that's lovely because that's very self-empowering. You know, a person may be able to maybe charge it up for a bit longer. I'm not sure yet, but that might be something that I can look at with the guides, you know, keeping it charged up. And this is a prototype. A friend of mine, Faye, you know, Faye Vale.
you know, Faye very well.
I got a bit burnt out about 2 years ago because I was seeing so many people and I was just doing so much work and it was all new and it was wonderful, but I was just doing too much.
Right.
And I've realized since then what I can do in a day, and then I need to, even though it's not my energy I'm sending, because I'm reading a lot of things. And I might have past life stuff might come up for clearing with a person. There are so many, it's so open, you know, there's so many different things that come up. So the energy is running, but I am reading as well. So, but at that point, I was really starting to burn out. And I remember talking to Faye about it. And because she has a direct link with the interdimensionals and she does the artwork for them, she got a message from them saying that they apologized because it's a prototype and they haven't run it before with anybody. So they're still trying to figure out what works and when it's too much and when it's not. So they
Yeah.
said, let's take a break and
Yeah.
we'll start with it again. You
Mm.
know, when you're ready to start working with it again. Yeah. So
Wow. And you know, that's the other thing is that from that reading as well, from the QLPH session, then you give me a 15-minute download afterwards about what you found as you went through. You know, I had a gritty crown for starters.
how very dare you.
So, but it was fascinating because you kind it's like a mediumship kind of reading as well, combined with the energetic body, and the whole thing is fascinating, and I love it. And I know that my partner, she found exactly the same thing. She loved what she got out of that, and I definitely would recommend it. And I'm going to put up the link to the website as well to go and check this out because you will not be disappointed. That's what I can tell you for sure. No,
But you know what the thing is for me, the it's so joyful, it's so amazing to be part of this because I get to connect with somebody at such an intimate level. I
mm,
get to see what their spirit looks like. I get to see part of their soul mission. I get to
mm,
see what they have actually brought into their tool bag to bring into this incarnation. And sometimes they don't even know it themselves, or they know it at a very deep, deep level, but they won't voice it because they think, oh well, who am I to
yeah,
do that? Who are you not to do that?
yeah,
You have been gifted with these tools
yes,
and use them. And so I'm always helping people to work on themselves, working on the energy centers and coaching them to and I'm happy I do this with in sessions like healing sessions as well, helping them to learn how to shield themselves and use their energy field as a buffer to the outside world and then strengthen their energy field because a lot of people don't realize, for example, if you have an issue with boundaries,
mm,
and you're trying to set a verbal boundary, or you think that the only way you can do it is sit down, look the person in the eye, and keep your level tone of voice and bring it all out, but you find that that in itself might be too confrontational. There are techniques you can use with energy so that you can clear that and you can strengthen your boundaries energetically, whereby the person will just begin to respect your boundaries because they feel the shift in you, and
Yeah.
they respond to that shift that
Mm,
has occurred in you.
mm,
You know, there's energy is so underrated, and it seems to be just a lot of people know about energy healing. When you understand energetics and the ins and outs of energetics, and you can see how energy is neutral and it
mm,
can be used for positively polarized actions or negatively polarized actions, and that energy is used for both of those on this planet. So
mm,
when you get information and you learn how that all works, you're in such a powerful position,
mm.
really, in your own life,
Yes.
you know, because you're at the helm of your own life then, and you're able to take action.
Yeah. And this is it. This is the power of thought, isn't it? It's an incredibly powerful thing.
Mhm.
And that's one of the things that I never realized. I thought a thought was a thought. I didn't realize it has its own energy and that you can create, thoughts become things. Talk about manifesting and all this kind of stuff, which, I think some of the stuff that's been taught on manifesting generally, it misses the point a lot of the time because what it tends to encourage people to do is say, okay, right, I want to be a multimillionaire.
I know.
Can I be a multimillionaire, please? How come my manifesting's not working? It's, it's broken. It doesn't work. It's nonsense. It misses the point.
Yeah.
Um, and I think that part of that, again, comes down to our programming conditioning in the materialistic world to believe that all our answers come from, materialistic gains and stuff. When we're in the mainstream, we're so off course with the true version of reality. And to a lot of people, this will sound like woo-woo nonsense. And I completely respect that perspective because that's why we put it on the Twiglet Zone. But, what I'm hoping is that it creates a spark. It creates a spark of curiosity that people will then just open their minds, just maybe a little, maybe try things for themselves because the power is within. I think this is one of the things that I got as well, is that I mentioned about this team, Team John is here, Team Aoibhinn is there. We have these enormously powerful teams around us because within the mortal physical body, we can keep an enormous amount of energy, way more than we realize. But the fact is, it's a fraction compared to what we have outside of ourselves. And again, we're talking about physical body versus etheric body versus astral body and all these different things that we don't learn about this in school. It's not part of the standard programming and conditioning. But in the truth of it is in the decades ahead, and this is where it will become normality and reality. At the moment, we're still kind of like a little bit out on the woo-woo side, but I think that the light is growing, and it's going to reach an awful lot more people. And I'd love to think that Elevated Planet and the work that you do and that Faye does and that Sheila's doing over in Colorado, they're all kind of reaching out and putting that energy out there. And hopefully a lot of this will sort of resonate with people at some point in when it's right for their journey. Now, one final question for you, Aoibhinn, if that's okay. The three entities that have appeared to you, and I know you've been in touch with other galactic entities over the decades, but do you have any affinity with different parts of the universe?
Yes. Okay. So when I started doing the healing work, an Arcturian guide came in and a Syrian guide came in. And don't ask me how I knew that, I just knew that. And I didn't know anything about these. I didn't know anything about these races. And then I started to look up Arcturians. I felt really, 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 really resonant with that. A lot of resonance. And I started looking up and doing research into what they are. And they're the healers of the universe.
Ah.
So yes, I feel very. And the funny thing is, I know this woman contacted me. It must be about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. She's a healer, a master healer, and she has interacted with lots of different entities, reptilians, lyrans, different insectoids. They pitch up in her kitchen. She's had some wacky, crazy connections. So all around the time where have started having the healing, being given the healing energy, and having the experience with the three entities, I get a message, or I'm in contact with her. She makes wands, okay? And
Okay.
she says to me, I really want to make you a wand and send it to you for
Mm.
your work. Now, here's my wand. I have it in front.
Aha.
There's my wand that I use for
Very
my
good.
healing work.
Uh,
When I was having my second experience with the woman who had done the past life regression with me in parallel, that actually ended up turning into a parallel life
wow.
situation. So my second session with her only this year, 2 years later, I said I feel the need to have one of these again. So had a session with her, and the consciousness of Merlin came through, and the consciousness of Merlin started speaking through me this time, and I'm like, what am I? I'm like a telephone box for everybody. What's going on? So anyway, so Merlin comes through and goes on to the recording saying, Aoibhinn needs a wand for the energetic structures that she's going to be creating. A day later, that's when this lady contacted me about, I want to gift you a wand. I want to make you a wand. I want to send it to Ireland for you. Because I've seen the work that you're doing on Facebook, and this is extremely powerful. She said she has a mechanism that measures the material from the wands before they're turned into wands, and then afterwards. And this, whatever the name, this meter is, goes up as far as 1,000 hertz. And she said, your wand went right up to 1,000 hertz. So she actually said, I don't know how powerful it is, because the mechanism only goes up as far as 1,000 hertz, but it's a minimum of 1,000 hertz. So she said, use it wisely.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, it's powerful.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
crazy, isn't it? Because it's like, this is bordering on Harry Potter territory now. I mean, you're kind of doing the woo-woo stuff, and next you're going to show me your owl. But yeah, I think even a lot of this stuff which has come out in fiction, even the Tolkien stuff as well as the Harry Potter stuff, there's a degree of reality in so many things that start off as fiction. And
well, John, there's a thing called revelation of the method, and you can look this up if you haven't heard of it before.
okay,
And this is where they put information out into the consciousness before it
yes,
happens, and that's how timelines are created. Let's call them the little gang who wouldn't be of the light workers ilk, who had control of the planet for a very long time. So they will place something into the consciousness through films, through adverts, radio, lots of different ways, and get it out there, so the individual, or the masses in fact, aren't shocked when it actually happens.
mm,
What they will do is often they will put you into trauma, like the news, as you probably
mhm,
know, puts people into trauma. The imagery is violent, person goes into trauma, then that energy can be used
mm,
and misdirected and directed onto a timeline that they want to create.
mm,
So this is one of the units that I teach, and so it's very important to be aware of your consciousness, because it is a war on consciousness, or a battle on consciousness, that we're in at the moment,
mm,
and be sure of that.
mm,
Be placing your consciousness with love
mm,
into areas, and being neutral, staying neutral as well, not being sucked in emotionally, doing your
yes,
energy work so you're not sucked in emotionally, so you're not triggered,
yes,
or when you're doing your spiritual work, you're aware that you're being triggered, so you can stand away and go,
yes.
hang on, I recognize what's going on here.